Hello, everybody, and welcome back to General Geekery. Hopefully, you're enjoying our new video format, and you've sat down and watched every episode so far as JD and I picked our top favorite real American hero figures from every year from 1982 to 1994, and our least favorite figures. And then, of course, we threw in some hidden gems here and there. We had a blast doing that, and we thought we'd follow that up with vehicles. I think this is not as easy as a topic because we're not going to pick our least favorite vehicles, and there really is not enough to choose from to do like hidden gems. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick one each from Joe and Cobra for each year. And then talk a little bit about each of them. So, of course, with me, as always, is JD.
Yes, sorry, folks, that you have to look at me. Seriously, woof.
You got a lot of awesome thumbnails out of that, dude. Yours are like epic. I mean, they're like doctoral thesis. I replied to on one of your posts with the screen clip from Top Gun. It's like, this is a great shot, man. I should be a photographer.
Yeah, I think it's the Italianness where I talk with my hands. And apparently, even when I'm not yelling, sometimes it looks like I am. But okay, it's not that there's no such thing as hidden gems for the vehicles, but there aren't for every year, and that's why we're not doing that part.
Okay, that makes sense.
And yeah, there's years that we could pick the worst, but a lot of them would be kind of trite. So. And most of them I'm just kind of neutral on. So either I had it or I didn't. Either I wanted it or I didn't. If I didn't have it, So there might be a couple of turds that we talk about. They come up in the conversation, but
actually, yeah, absolutely. There's definitely stuff that we need to address. So the first year, of course, is 1982, and for Cobra, the only thing that was came out for 1982 in Cobra was, of course, the series exclusive Missile Command Headquarters, which is more of a playset than a vehicle. So there really isn't one for Cobra to begin with.
Well, and I did not have that when I was a kid. I did not know that existed until the internet became a thing, and I started going to like Yo Joe and like the mailing lists and stuff. I didn't know that thing existed. So,
so there isn't one for 1982. So what are you going to pick for G.I. Joe then for 82?
The Vamp. The Vamp was, well, first of all, I always liked Jeeps, and second of all, I mean, it's an army green, multi-purpose. I mean, it's literally in the name, multi-purpose attack vehicle, or vehicle attack multi-purpose. If you want to get technical, it's an army Jeep. I mean, that's what it was. Squeaky wheels and all, literally. It is classic. I loved it, and it came with Clutch, who is one of the preeminent drivers on the Joe team.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the original 13 guys. I got to go with the Vamp too. It was one of the, wasn't the first vehicle that I got, but it was one of the first vehicles I got. I still remember my dad buying it for me at Target. We lived up in a small mountain town, and about once or twice a year, he and I would go into Denver for a weekend. It was just me and him for the weekend. So we go nice places to eat, go see a couple movies, and then like go buy toys. So that was what I got on one of those trips, was the Vamp. And that thing, I remember just like all the way home playing with that thing and looking at the box, and everything about that is awesome.
I have to laugh because the two times that you visited me here, so we had the exact same agenda. We went to town, saw a movie, went to eat, went toy shopping and customized. So that's kind of funny how, we get older, but some things don't change.
Some things don't change. All right. So the other stuff that came out that year really wasn't that exciting. The MMS, the Flak, the How, the Jump was pretty cool.
The Jump was cool, but I didn't have one when I was a kid until later. Again, I think I got one through the mail or something.
Yeah, I was wondering if mine was mail. I don't think mine was mail away. I'm pretty sure I remember having the box, but mine did not come with Grand Slam. So I had the 82 version.
I did have, when I was a kid, I had a Mobat, but compared to the other tanks in the line, it was innovative for the time, but it never looked as cool as the Mobat as illustrated in the comic book.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I had a friend that had one, so I saw one, but that was as close as I ever got to having one. Was playing once.
Well, since there were no Cobra vehicles to pick from that year, hey, what's your second choice for favorite Joe vehicle?
Boy, let's see here.
This one.
I would say probably the Ram.
Okay, we agree. The Ram. I love that thing.
Yeah,
I loved it. I don't even. Sometimes I didn't even attach the minigun side.
Oh yeah,
thing.
no, I use the minigun off most of the time, and like attached it to my whale or something.
I was gonna say a lot of times I would use it as a separate, like a battlefield emplacement.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I had the Dungeons and Dragons Fortress of Fangs. And I always used that as a like G.I. Joe base that some temple that they had found and were trying to protect something, trying to keep Cobra away, and they had taken the machine gun off of the Ram and put it up in as an emplacement for a.
There were so many vehicles from other lines that got taken over by G.I. Joe because it was my. I had lots of toys when I was a kid. I had lots of different toy lines. Nothing topped G.I. Joe. So eventually, if my Joes could interact with it, they took it over. Luke's Land Speeder, the Ewok Village.
I like the Ewok Village. I never had one of those.
There was something from, like I had like knockoff toys and stuff. Like in fact, I think I even had I think like it was some El Cheapo Jeep or something. Yeah, my Joes they went into that too. Something, we got at the PX.
Right.
So yeah, my Joes, they took over everything eventually. So
all right, let's move on to 83 there. So what are you going to pick for the Joe's vehicle for 83?
I'm going to pick the Dragonfly simply because when I was a kid, I did have one, even though at some point I lost the canopy for it, but that doesn't matter. When you're a kid, the canopy's still there, whether it's physically there or not. But I absolutely loved the gimmick with the switch on the side that made the rotor turn. Oh, could not get enough of
that. I think the same friend that had the Mobat had the Dragonfly, so that's as close as I've never owned a Dragonfly. I've kind of always wanted one, but I've just never gotten around to getting one.
Yeah,
it's a great pick. And Wild Bill. I mean, how can you go wrong with Wild Bill? I think the figure was kind of bland, but he had such personality in the like really ice cold cavalry, like the movie I'm trying to think of, Vietnam movie.
We Were Soldiers.
No, Armageddon Now.
Oh wait, Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now. Apocalypse Now. I mean, like pilot for Air Cav in Vietnam kind of guy.
Yeah, well, that's why I was thinking We Were Soldiers because, well, first of all, that movie, the beginning of it was shot on Fort Benning. Well, we lived at Fort Benning 2 different times in my life. My sister was born there, and then in high school we got sent back there. And in that movie, they shoot those scenes on Fort Benning in a lot of places that I had been to, but there's a section of that movie where they focus on in the motor pool, and you see the hangar, and the helicopter pilots from that battle, they're on screen, and they're air cavalry. So I
Nice.
mean, they're awesome. Yeah, the Wild Bill figure was a little bit bland, but he wasn't bland in the cartoon, and he was always in the comic book. There was never an even as the comic book went on
Yeah.
and the cast of characters expanded, Wild Bill was still the preeminent pilot that they used. And
Yeah.
he flew transport planes, he flew different helicopters, but Wild Bill was ever present in
Yeah.
the comic. So yeah, it's the dragonfly. That's
All right.
hey,
For mine, I think I'm going to have to go cliche here, and I'm going to say the Sky Striker.
um,
I got
yeah,
that I got that. I think my grandmother got me that as for Christmas, one Christmas when I was a kid. That thing is fantastic. It's got 6 missiles. It's got 2 seats. It came with Ace, who had a removable helmet. It had working parachutes. It had wings and landing gears that swept in and out. The engines were removable. It was huge when you're a kid. I mean that thing was massive when you're 5 or 6 years old. I mean it was a chunk of plastic to play with. I mean it still is a chunk of plastic to play with. I have a one I restored here right behind me. I mean yeah, I mean it's still huge.
damn, yeah. I've never. I don't own a Sky Striker. I didn't have one when I was a kid. No, I take that back. One of the Toys R Us sets had like a red and silver repaint. It was, I don't know, maybe it was crimson. I don't know what it was. I got it a couple years ago. I made a pilot for it. It's been in storage ever since. So I did technically have one, but yeah, I never had the original.
Yeah, well,
Um,
and the new
so
issue, the new ones, I've got.
well, it was available in 19 different color schemes. And,
Of the newer ones, I have 6 of them.
yeah, that's what I mean. It was re-released as a Sky Striker and as a Night Boomer for the convention, and it was in different color schemes, and yeah, it had like 4 different releases or something.
Yeah, the 25th anniversary one, I've got 4 of those. I've used
Um,
6 of them. I've got 2 customs and 2 of them are convention exclusives.
yeah, I still never bought one for the 25th line, and then there was one for the 30th line, and I didn't buy that either. I never had a place to put it.
Yeah.
So
All right, so give me your Cobra pick for 83 then.
the hiss.
Yeah.
Um, I had one when I was a kid, and I did like it, but I was not really enamored with it like I became later in life with all things Hiss tanks. But I mean, it's still a classic vehicle. I mean, it was. Yeah, there have been later versions that were cooler, but
Yeah.
yeah, the Hiss is a pretty clear choice on this one.
Yeah, I mean it's 83. There's not a lot yet for this, and they were still kind of testing the waters, I think, on this. And toy lines back then, the villains didn't get a lot of the accessories and the ancillary products until it really until it really caught on. So yeah, I got to go with the Hiss too. That was my first Cobra vehicle. Um, it was big for compared to anything else that I had, because I think my only other vehicle was the Polar Battle Bear and the Vamp at that point in time. So I mean, it was big. It held 4 guys. You could put one guy up front, one guy in the turret. I always took the turret out and loaded the inside full of gear, and then put the turret back in it.
Oh, I can totally see you doing that. That's you always were all about play features like that. So yeah, I
Absolutely,
can see it.
absolutely. All right, so um, that's 83. Um, yeah, Cobra didn't have a lot of stuff. I think ones that if somebody said you can have one toy from '83, one vehicle from '83 right now, I think I'd get one of the gliders.
Uh, well, you wouldn't have it for very long before it would fall apart.
Yeah,
Um, they were, mm, I would say they're well known for being unstable, but I don't really know if unstable is the right word. Fragile, ridiculously fragile, as I understand. I never had them when I was a
or did
kid.
neither did I? I saw them, but I
But
never got one.
yeah, I didn't have them. But even if I had had them, I don't think I would have had it for very
Yeah.
long.
No, I've heard that they did not age well. All right.
Yeah, I hear they didn't age well 6 months later, but I don't know. I've never had one, and I didn't know that Tan Grunt existed until Yo Joe. So,
All right.
um,
Yeah. So let's go to '84 then. Again, still kind of a mixed. I think every year's kind of a mixed year. There's usually a couple like shitty vehicles, a couple like this is the flagship of this wave,
you know,
and then just a couple of just like intermediate ones. So give me your Joe pick for '84.
God damn it. Okay. Hey, this is the first year that I can pick a worse vehicle, and it's the Shark. Except that answer works for every year because it is the worst vehicle in the entire line. There were
I don't
crap
agree with you
vehicles.
on that.
No, there are crap vehicles that are cooler than the Shark. The
I
Shark
do
is
not agree with
crap.
you at all on that. I will grant you that the cockpit is not
Sucks,
functional because of the figure it came with, but
sucks,
the whole premise of that I love.
sucks,
No,
sucks.
no,
Vehicles, the guns, the floating thing, the mold, the design sucks.
no.
Sucks in every color scheme they ever repainted it in. The
Do not
Shark is
agree with
terrible.
you.
The
Do not.
Shark is
I've got one on my.
terrible.
I've got one right next to my Sky Striker and my flat in the gray. Fucking love that, man. That is
Yep,
tight.
yep. It's fucking stupid in every color
Nope.
scheme.
Do not
The
agree with
Shark is crap.
wrong on that one, buddy.
The Shark is junk. Even Chrome in 1990 for the Sky Shark couldn't make it cool. Nothing can.
All right, so tell me
Anyway,
what was cool for
um, anyways, um, wow, that, that escalated quickly.
Yeah,
Um,
believe me, I'm tempted to pick the Shark just to piss you off.
it won't piss me off. I'll just think that you're trying to contradict me, sir. All right, I'm gonna pick the most ridiculous damn vehicle, the Manta Ray. Yes, it was a windsurfer. I don't care. My dad sent away for one for me, and I love the shit out of that thing. Stalker was always riding that thing into every ocean battle that I had,
I
or
think that's a
lake
bold choice.
battle,
I think that's
river battle. I love the Manta Ray, or the Manta. I
yeah.
kind of wish now that I could get one, but I don't know what they really go for on the secondary market, and I hadn't actually thought about it till just now. But I loved it, and in fact, I think it was available later as a mail away again, and I think I got a new one then. It was impractical for a military vehicle, but I didn't care. I loved
Oh
it.
yeah, no, I didn't care either. I remember mailing away for mine as well, and it's funny you should say that because I think I gave mine to Stalker as well. I liked that everything fit in that
Yeah.
big
Well,
clunky backpack.
well, I want to say in the catalog, I think Stalker was on it. So in my mind, he was kind of I think he was the driver of it.
I think if I'd
Well,
had a rock and roll, I would have given it to rock and roll, but I never had a rock and roll.
I did, but at the time when I was a kid, I don't think I really understood his secondary civilian specialty of surfer guy, with his
Yeah,
primary civilian specialty being, rock music. I don't know. That was lost on me. So, but yeah, I really like the Manta.
all right, I'm gonna go cliche again and say killer whale.
No shit. Huh.
Yeah,
I saw that coming.
yeah, it
Um,
doesn't surprise me. That's
I've never owned one. I didn't know anybody who had one. I knew all the places we moved, and I knew a lot of kids with Joe vehicles, and I never knew anybody with a killer whale. I knew it from the Sunbow cartoon.
And that was another one my grandma got me for a Christmas. It might have been the same Christmas actually, because I think I remember getting the whale and the.
Oh, God knows my grandparents.
I think my folks got that for me. Actually,
my grandparents spoiled the shit out of me, so I got a lot. I had a lot of good GI Joe Christmases, so it wouldn't surprise me if it was the same Christmas for you.
Yeah, it probably was. I actually just got one for Christmas last year. A guy here in Denver had one that was for sale, and I used some of my per diem from Ukraine and went and got it. I'm in the process of restoring it right now, cleaning it up.
Nice.
Yeah, what can I say? I mean, it holds, at the time, it held every G.I. Joe figure I had and still had room for more. I mean, you could have two guys up front in the guns. Cutter went into a toy box, so there was, room for two guys in the control thing. Yeah. I got rid of that stupid Yukon cycle. So I think I had to stock her in the jump. That was where I launched the jump from.
God knows there were 50 choices for a better driver for that vehicle.
Yeah.
Than Cutter.
Yeah.
Cutter's the baseball coach on the Joe team, and I don't care what anybody says. That's exactly what this figure was good for, being the baseball coach.
I think that is like one of the most polar opposites, vehicle driver coolness in the G.I. Joe line.
Yeah. There's later vehicle drivers that were but they were still more exciting than Cutter.
Yeah.
And so they had chins.
Cobra there.
This one is super easy. The Cobra Rattler, which is basically a fantastical version of the A-10 Thunderbolt, which is, honest to God, the single coolest aircraft that has ever been designed by humankind. There is no cooler fighter plane than that, and they made a toy of it. I didn't have a Rattler when I was a kid, but I did get one later, and holy shit, yes, it's a tank killer in the toy line. The Cobra Rattler is the preeminent aircraft in the line, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I mean, what can you say? I don't remember how many fucking missiles and bombs came on that thing.
It came with about 40 of them.
Yeah.
And so when you lost a bunch of them, you still had more of them.
Yeah.
And
everything was interchangeable with the Sky Striker too. So you could put Sky Striker missiles on your Rattler. You could put Rattler missiles on the Sky Striker.
Well, and then Hasbro knew how cool it was, because in the 1997 line, the Toys R Us exclusive line, the Joes got their own. It was a camouflage green repaint of it, and they came with Ace, because the Cobra Rattler it's amazing.
Yeah, I've got one of the 25th anniversary ones, and it's crap compared to the original one, because they didn't put the time. The plastic is not very good. I was going to throw it away because I thought I didn't have all the parts, but I've been looking for parts to my Rolling Thunder, and I recently came across all the parts for my 25th Rattler, so I'm thinking about. I didn't get the 25th version. I think I only saw it in the store once, and I didn't get it. Target exclusive, I think, so it wasn't readily available.
Oh, well, maybe that was it, but I didn't get it the one time I saw it. I kind of wish I had. I didn't have it, but I didn't have that one, but I did get the 2001, 2002. It was this gold coppery repaint of the Rattler that Toys R Us had.
Yes.
The quality control was non-existent. It it didn't have the gunner canopy. It did not come with it at all.
Really?
It was just so whoever was firing the gun as it was flying, they couldn't breathe, but they could still shoot. So that's all that matters.
It sounds like something out of World War I.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was basically, well, that's Cobra safety precautions. That's how it goes.
I don't think they hold the OSHA standards. So.
Yeah, you don't have to be able to breathe. Just shoot the damn gun.
Right.
But you know, it was crap. But again, Rattler, so cool. But yeah, I got a vintage Rattler much later, not with a lot of the stuff, but I had it, and that was all that, you know. It was cool.
And Wild Weasel, I liked the figure. I thought Wild Weasel, the figure. You didn't like the Wild Weasel figure, but I liked Wild Weasel figure.
I liked the way he was portrayed in the comic, but
Yeah.
see, he was one that when I was a kid, I think I did have a Wild Weasel because, like I said, you know, I mailed away for it. He came in a set, I think, with Steeler and somebody else. So
I
I
missed
had
so
it.
many mail-aways. I don't remember most of these mail-aways. I don't
Um,
know how I missed these.
oh, dude, I spent so much time looking at those stupid catalogs that came with the toys.
So
I
did
was,
I, but I don't remember most of these mail-aways.
um, oh god, I remember specific pages of the catalogs because I pored over them for so much time in my life.
All right, so let me see here. To me, this is a hard pick. I mean, yeah, the Rattler, but I got to go with the Cobra water moccasin.
Yeah, good choice. Good
It's
choice.
a sleek boat. It really floats. It was in uh, one of the first GI Joe comic books that I got. I liked Copperhead. I thought he was a cool looking figure. I liked the
Yeah.
color scheme. I liked the stickers. I like the weapons on it. I like the little ski mine that pops out from underneath behind it. I like, hey, don't eat off the, hey, get out of there.
Which one is it?
That's Alice. She's
uh,
she's begging
wait.
for potato chips, but I'm sitting at my customizing desk, so she's probably eating Dremel shavings right now.
Yeah. See, that dog, every time we do the podcast, she comes to visit you. So,
Yeah,
um,
she when I customize, she'll come down every couple hours to see what I'm doing. Now she'll go back upstairs to nope. She's because I have potato chips. She wants potato chips.
give her the chips. Give the dog the chips.
I gave her a chip. She already got one. So
Give
yeah,
her more
water
chips.
moccasin all the way.
Give
Plus
the
I had
dog more chips.
no. Plus I had the whale at the same time, so it was a nice.
That's a pretty epic, you know, showdown. So I
Plus best feature ever in a toy, it floats. I think that is the best.
I don't think I ever realized it did. I don't think I ever took one into the pool or the bathtub because I did have one, but I don't think I ever brought it near the water. I think
I
I was
don't
always
think it
afraid that,
floats. I don't remember it floating well
but
because
it
the,
floats.
the back didn't seal very well. It was very back heavy.
Uh, yeah. Yeah, cool stuff. Well, and you know it's cool because they repainted. I mean, there was a 25th version, but there were other color schemes over the years, and for some reason, unlike the shark, which sucks in all the color schemes, the water moccasin is cool in every color scheme. And the Brazil Joe
I do not
line,
agree with that either. I've
yeah,
seen some
okay.
water mocks, some of the color schemes of the water mocks, and I'm like, oh, that is horrible. What have they done to you?
Well, they Pythonized it in the Brazil exclusive Joe line, the vintage line. They made it, yeah, it was Python Patrol, so it had like the red camo netting
That might be pretty cool.
decoration
I've
in
never
it.
seen that. I'd have to look for that. That might be.
Um,
I'm not a big fan of the sublines, as we've talked about many times, but
no,
Python
but
Patrol's
I like the Python vehicle. Well, I like Python Patrol anyways, and all their hideous ugliness. I love them, but the vehicles were cool in that color scheme that they had.
all right. So that was 84. Let me pull up
Shit.
85 here.
85 is where it gets a lot more difficult.
85. All right, go with your Joe pick there.
I'm going to go with the Mauler. I did not own one when I was a kid. I did not own one as an adult, but I did know people who had them. And everything that the Mobat aspired to but could not achieve, the Mauler did.
I have never seen one in person.
I did, like I said, I had a couple friends who had them, and I've seen them like at conventions and stuff where
Never even seen one
they'll
at a convention.
it'll be on the sales table, and the price of it is basically either your soul or, you know,
Okay.
limbs. Yeah, I was gonna say, one of your offspring maybe, but I mean it's expensive, but there's a reason for that. The Mauler is a badass piece of hardware.
Yeah, I can't argue that because I've never seen it. To me, this is, you say it's a hard year to pick. I don't think it's a hard year at all because I don't.
No, this is where it starts to get a little harder because there's more candidates every year. Like,
Fair enough.
it was bigger. So
I'm gonna go with the Snowcat for mine. I think that was it was because I had the polar battle bear and I hated how impractical it was. Your guys are gonna freeze to death while they're in combat. So this was the first like Joe snow vehicle that had an enclosed cockpit. It could hold a ton of guys because you could put like 2 guys on the back and 2 guys in front.
I was gonna say that thing. If you really pushed it, you could fit at least 12 figures on there. I know I did. I used it as a transport sometimes. I had guys hanging all over that damn
thing. And sometimes I would take like the missile launcher off and use it as like a armored transport, cargo transport.
Yep, me too.
So yeah, and plus the figure was fantastic, and the weapon. I mean, geez, that huge M16 with that huge night vision scope. I think
it had ski pedos on the vehicle. That's ridiculous, but awesome. Well, Frostbite was cool because he was. I mean, he looked when you think Arctic Trooper, I think of Frostbite. I mean,
yeah.
You could make the argument for Snow Job too, but by that point, I didn't have Snow Job anymore, but I did have Frostbite. And yeah, I used him a lot. Yeah.
All right, so that's Joe's.
Classic.
So the question I'm going to pose to you before we do Cobra is the USS Flag a vehicle or is it a playset?
No, it's a decoration. It's a house decoration. I did not get a flag until it was Christmas '86 because it was I got it before my birthday, which is in February, and so I got it much later after the fact. And it's funny because when I got it, it was under the Christmas. I say under the Christmas tree. It was behind the damn Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And that box was there. There was no wrapping paper that they threw. My parents threw a blanket over it to wrap it because this thing, the box was bigger than I was. Now when I got it, when Santa brought it to me, they flat out told me, even though we didn't know at the time when we were going to be moving, when the Army was going to transfer my dad, they flat out said, when we do move, there is no way that this thing can possibly come with us because from assignment to assignment, we didn't know what the living quarter situation was going to be. And at the time when we lived, because we lived in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, we weren't on an Army base. We were in civilian housing. We were in an apartment, so we had room for it. So, but I agreed to it because, again, I was 6. I was going on 7. And I agreed to it because, it was just cool to have it.
Yeah.
So it made no never mind to me that I wouldn't be able to hold on to it forever because we moved a lot. So I was used to getting rid of stuff before we moved. So the movers didn't have to take as much. But I would say that the flag it's a playset, it's a vehicle, it's a house decoration. It was great for storage for all my Joes because I've got a photograph that I took of all my Joes standing in formation on the deck of the flag. That was there. I don't think there's ever been a toy like it.
No, absolutely not.
So Yeah, I can't really call it a favorite vehicle because it's a favorite all around everything. Um, yeah, like I said, that thing is just what a feat of engineering.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't have one when I was a kid, and never saw one when I was a kid. Um, the first time I like got close to one having one, I saw it on like a Facebook, like the Facebook Marketplace, and is this guy
Wow.
selling one, and I'm like, wow, that's in Colorado. I should do something about that. And then I completely forgot about it for like a couple of years, and then it popped up again in my feed or whatever, and it was the same guy selling it. So
He still had it.
he still had it. So I PM'd this guy. I'm like, hey, you still have the flag? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, I'm in Ukraine. I'm here for 2 more months. I'll be back in May or March. Can I come take a look at it then? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. So we get there. I told my wife, I'm like, I'm getting this thing. It's just, childhood dream. I didn't get one when I was a kid. I've got the money for it. It's coming out of per diem. It won't touch any of the household money. I got to get it. So we get there, and the guy's like, he's like, we're moving. Wife wants all of the shit gone. He says, I have two of them. One is complete.
You bought
One is
two.
not. One is pretty close. He says, I'll give them to you both for the same price.
Wait, the same price that you would have paid for one, or the same price each?
Nope, same price. 2 for 1.
Damn, his wife really wanted that stuff gone.
Plus,
Damn.
plus 2 Sky Strikers.
Jeez.
One of them was complete. One of them was not. And then one of the 25th anniversary Tomahawks, and then a handful of figures.
Damn.
Yeah. And I got
Wow.
that for $1,500.
Wow. So one of them, I assume you're just using as a coffee table, right?
I actually have them both set up. I got them both set up in my customizing room. I had to go get 8-foot tables. Hang on, I think the wife.
Missed opportunity.
She's wanting to know where the baby is. Oh no, she's doing laundry. Yeah, no, she's sitting in the chair here. Yeah.
Hi, Emily.
Hi.
So now I've got them both set up. So one of them I've got all my Joy Toy figures on, and the other one I haven't decided what I'm doing with it. That's the complete one behind me. I've got a bunch of Joes. I've got figures from all different lines. I haven't decided what I want to do with that one yet. So give me your Cobra vehicle for 85.
It's stupid. The ferret ATV. I had one of
use from an 85.
No,
How
but
much use from?
well, the only two things that I had that year were the night landing raft and the Cobra night landing and the ferret. But regardless, even if I'd had, well, you're right, there's not. Shut up. There was snake armor, and that thing, well,
no, it came out the year before.
I'm looking at 1985 on Joe, sir. Scroll down. I think no,
the black one. Okay.
I was gonna say it's a repaint, but really, the snake armor sucks. Second only to the shark being the worst. It's stupid.
As much as I want to like the snake armor, I got to agree with you.
Yeah. In the cartoon, they use them as robots because, well, they're clunky as all hell. Neat idea, terrible execution.
Yeah, they were cool comic book too.
But yeah, the ferret. I had one when I was a kid. Now at the time, yeah, I was 5. I don't think I knew that ATVs, 4-wheelers, were actually a thing. I don't think I knew they existed in real life, but this thing was cool.
Yeah.
And incidentally, a lot of times Cobra didn't get to use it because I was giving it to my Joes. So it was a good all practical. I mean, it was a good all around use vehicle.
I got to go with the cliche. You're gonna see a theme going here, and I'm gonna go with the moray.
No shit, really?
Yeah.
Wow, this is shocking.
I think again, it floats. So best action feature ever, in my opinion. Anything that floats is fantastic. It holds a shitload of guys. The pop-up missiles in the front, the drop-off torpedoes. The figure was awesome. The weapon for the figure was awesome.
The searchlight that the lens got lost immediately out of the box. I don't know. I never owned one, but I hear that the lens is a rare accessory. I don't know.
Not on mine. I've got the lens on mine still. It's still in there. Whoops, shit. We just fell off. Oh.
You just lost an accessory.
Yeah, flippers. I got mine loaded full of eels and lamprey.
No shit. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the one I restored.
Oh, that's one you made the video out of. Yeah, I didn't own them more when I was a kid. I've never had one. They look cool, but yeah, I just never got one.
Oh yeah, no, it's fantastic. The drop down hydrofoil action is, with the lever in the back. To me, that's one of the must-have vehicles. Is the Moray. I had it as a kid, friggin' loved it. I think that was one that like G.I. Joe eventually requisitioned, like your ferret.
Yeah. You know what? If I had one, yeah, at some point Joe's would have taken it over too.
Absolutely.
And yes, I always had elaborate stories. So when the ferret got taken over by Joe, they stole that shit. It wasn't just the owner, me, deciding that the Joes were gonna. Oh no, somebody done stole it. I don't know which Joe I had pull off the heist, but oh yeah, there was. I had nuanced storylines when I was a kid. So
As did I. All right,
yeah.
86. Give me your Joe pick for 86.
Tomahawk. There is a case to be made for the Havoc, but I can't pick the Havoc over the Tomahawk.
I hate the Havoc. I cannot stand the Havoc.
The Havoc is ridiculous. There's no basis in reality, and it's completely and totally impractical. I love the shit out of it, but I cannot pick the Havoc over the Tomahawk. That would be unfair to the Tomahawk. I think I just really liked helicopters when I was a kid. I must have. I like Jeeps. Yeah, I must have loved the helicopters, but oh my God, the Tomahawk, that thing got so much playtime. It didn't have some of the rotors left by the time I couldn't use it anymore. I didn't care. I used it anyway. Everybody flew that thing. Everybody rode in that thing. In fact, that photograph that I have somewhere of the that lineup of I'm pretty sure the Tomahawk's on the deck of the flag too, along with the formation. Yeah, Tomahawk, that is one badass toy.
See, I never had one as a kid. I still have never had one, and I didn't know anybody growing up that had one. So my first one was the reissue, not the reissue, but the retaliation when they put the remold. I bought two of them. I was going to keep one in the box, but one of them broke. I don't remember how, but it broke like horrendous, and I just threw it out because it wasn't even worth trying to fix. And then I got a second one when I got my flag. So I've got two of them. I really like them. I really wish I'd had one as a kid, and I really wish I had one of the vintage ones. But for my Joe pick, I'm going to stick with my theme, and I'm going to go with the Devilfish.
Yeah. That was a badass little boat.
Absolutely.
I did have one. It was cool. It was especially iconic because on the cover of G.I. Joe number 47, it's front and center with wetsuit, beachhead, and hawk. Yes, Mike Zeck art. The Devilfish was a cool little vehicle. One of my favorite scenes in G.I. Joe the movie is when Slaughter and the Renegades and Falcon pull up to the Terrordrome, all driving Devilfishes.
Yep.
Yeah.
They used the shit out of those things in the cartoon. I love the color scheme, even though it's orange. I mean,
it doesn't matter. It's awesome.
the orange and gray works fantastic.
Yeah, it's
it was,
awesome.
Beachhead was always the one in the Devilfish. That was his boat. Nobody else got that. It was Beachheads.
Was it because of the Mike Zeck comic cover? Yeah,
Probably.
Um,
Probably. I didn't know I didn't even know who Mike Zeck was back.
no, but you probably had the comic, and you probably you associated because he's driving it on the cover of that. But I'm pretty sure I usually gave it to Wetsuit, except when Leatherneck stole it from him. Because I definitely never had two of them. But if I had, Wetsuit and Leatherneck would have been the drivers.
Fair enough.
So
right, give me your Cobra pick then.
Damn, slim pickings for Cobra that year.
Yeah,
okay.
it was. They put all their money into one thing here.
By default, even though it's stupid as all get out, the Cobra Stun, I had it. I played the shit out of that because by that point, I didn't have a hip tank anymore. So the Stun became the new Cobra tank. Like I said, it is dumb as all shit. Looking at it,
go with that one. I don't know how I knew. I'm like, he's gonna pick the Stun.
Yeah, because there's nothing practical about it. And
I've never had one. I've never seen one. I've never held one. I kind of like the design though. I like how it looks, and they always used them in the comic book.
Well, they always used it in the cartoon too. And you know, the two driver seats, even though technically the driver didn't sit there, but I always use them as the drive. And you know, it had this split apart action, and it was cool. Like I said, it's impractical. It's goofy as all hell, and it's for all of those reasons that I pick it as my favorite.
Yeah, I think if I'd had one, I would have a hard time not picking one. But since I've never actually had one, that's one of the vehicles that I'm sad that they didn't come out with in the 25th anniversary line, that they didn't re-release. It was the Stun, because I had bought that in a heartbeat. So for
the closest they got, well, I don't know why they didn't either, because
it seems like that would have been an easy one to go with.
Well, the G.I. Joe Collect Club for the 2004 convention with the Dreadnoks as a theme brought out a new Cobra Stun in the Dreadnought color. So it was purple and gray, and they went as far as creating all new hubcaps for it with the Dreadnought logo instead of the Cobra logo. So again, the vehicles minus the hubcaps, never mind that, because Hasbro could have recast that, but you're right. They never put it in the 25th line. I wonder why.
Yeah, I think that would have been an easy one to go with, and
that's a weird oversight. Okay.
It is. So for mine, I got to go with the vehicle that I wanted so much as a kid but never got, and that is the Night Raven.
I can see it hanging from your ceiling.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's me. Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, Cobra Night Raven. I had a buddy in high school that had one, and that was the first time I had seen one. So, you know, like a long time after it had come out. I love the drop-down cockpit, the fact that it'll hold 3 guys if you use the drone, the fact that it's 2 vehicles in one, it just makes it awesome.
I did have one, and it was awesome.
And, you know, as a kid who didn't love the SR-71 Blackbird, which this is modeled off of, and growing up in the 80s, who the fuck didn't see the Clint Eastwood movie Firefox?
I may not have. I did later.
You were
but
probably
I didn't see it then, but
when it came. You might not have been. You were, because I'm 6 years older than you are.
Something like that. I just turned 40 in February.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, no, I'm 6. Yeah, I mean, I was. That was like one of the first R-rated movies my dad let me watch.
Oh, that's hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had a Night Raven when I was a kid, and it was really cool. I don't and I did play with it, but yeah, nothing saw as much action as the Stun did, I think. But
No,
um,
I wanted one after seeing Firefly.
well, I kind of later on in life gained a newer appreciation for the Night Raven simply because really just to look at it, sexy as all hell.
It is.
And
And
it
I
is
restored
sleek.
mine,
And
and I've got it polished. And I mean, you can see your face in it, and it's just beautiful.
my very favorite thing about it when I was a kid, I loved the red canopy. I don't know why, but that struck me as being completely awesome.
Understandably so. All right, that is 1986.
All right, folks, if I did this as one video, it would be 3 hours long, and I'll tell you what, nobody's going to watch a 3-hour video of us talking about and arguing about what the best vehicles of G.I. Joe were. So I'm going to turn it into 3 separate episodes. This is the first episode. Stay tuned for the second episode. Thanks for watching. As usual, comment below. Give us, so this was 82 to 86, so give me your favorite G.I. Joe and Cobra vehicles for those years in the comments below. Tell JD why he's wrong about the Shark being the worst vehicle ever. And stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks for watching.